Spreaker to play free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at LateNightSportsRadio.com.
Back to the Bob Sullivan Show here on LateNightSportsRadio.com. If you'd like to call in, the call-in number is 585-633-7487. I'm joined here in hour number 2 by Mike Falcone of More Like Radio, comedian, writer, pretty much anything you can think of. Mike probably does it. Is that correct, Mike?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And eventually I'll be starting to try my hand in film, too, at some point in the future, either near or distant. So there's that. I like to keep busy.
It's not adult films, though, is it?
No. I don't have the bravado or confidence to get into adult films. Not at all. No, they're just straight up, like, legitimate films.
Do you think there's ever been a time where a 9-year-old tells his mom, "Hey, I think I could be an adult film star," and she's like, "Oh, honey, just looking at you, I absolutely think that's possible."
I mean, I'm sure there's one family here or there that has had that happen. I'm guessing probably in either Alabama or West Virginia. That's probably, like, I feel like those are or Florida. No, Florida is definitely a place where there could be one family that is that, like, dysfunctional, where a kid's saying that would be considered normal.
Yeah, I could see it in Florida. Yeah, the West Virginia, you'd have to, with the Appalachian people. In Alabama, you just never know what's going on down there. There's something fishy in those two states going on.
You never know.
Yeah. Well, and it's weird. You wonder with guys that get into that line of business. I mean, with a chick, you always chalk it up to, oh, she has daddy issues. I wonder what you chalk it up to with a guy.
Well, I mean, let's face it. With a lot of guys, I mean, I'm sure some of them are screwed up too in that industry, but they're like, all right, so I get paid to basically do chicks.
Yeah.
Like it's not the worst job to have as a guy. I mean, it's probably like keeping it up with cameras in front of you and the lights and stuff. Probably not easy to do, but like it's not exactly a job that a guy's gonna be like, "What, you want to hire me for that?" No. Why would I take that money to do that?
Yeah. Some guy. Yeah. Well, like if you're the weirdest thing for me would be if I was discovered by another man. That's when I would be uncomfortable in that situation.
Yeah, I just picture the people who do that kind of discovering, like the talent scouting. Like it's not like a sports scouting department where it's like people in suits. Usually bald hair and a Hawaiian button-up shirt are involved. Of course, I'm basing this solely on James Gandolfini and 8mm, so.
Yeah, and probably a lot of towels involved, too.
Oh, so many. All of the towels.
Go ahead, sorry.
But like, what are the parameters? Like, I mean, what parameters do they have to scout talent? Is there like a porn scouting combine?
Oh, yeah. Like, what's your? Yeah, you know how like they measure somebody's hands at the scouting combine if you're quarterback. Yeah, there's obviously a measuring process, I assume.
Well, is there like a money shot accuracy drill that goes on at the porn scouting combine? I have no clue.
There'd have to be. And well, like the 40 time, it would be how fast you lose your load.
Yeah, no, it's how slow. Like it's the reverse.
Oh.
It's like the slower your time, the better it is on your draft stock.
Yeah, it would be a different world. I don't know if I would want to being the scout. I mean, the number of times you'd be turned down, it would be astronomical, right?
I mean,
well, not by guys, but by chicks.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, hey, if they really, like, it depends, on the company you work for, probably. Like, if you work for one of the higher end companies and the girl's missed a few hugs in her day, like from mommy and daddy, then chances are she's like, sure, I'll sign with you guys.
Yeah, she's ready to go at that point.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like, listen, it's either that or stripping, or meth.
Or a combination of both, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. The combination of both or meth is those are like people in those scenarios, those are the options at that point.
As far as, like when I go to Twin Peaks or I go to like Hooters or something like that, it's really, I mean, maybe it's because I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. It's pretty slim pickings as far as, I'm not always that impressed. I'm always more impressed by the food than I am the ladies.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have that problem here. I live in Jersey, which is like an hour away from New York City. So I don't have that problem. And as far as like good food, they pretty much import the good food, the good chefs from like other areas too. So like, well, I don't really have that problem. The problem is though, they know it.
Yeah.
Like that's the main issue. I feel like in your area, the ones that are attractive have no clue that they are. So they're plenty prone to just settling.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, they're more prone to try to be career women instead of the women that we want to look at and oogle over.
Exactly. And like, I don't know, I feel like there's lots of like reachers on the male end in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Like a higher percentage, whereas in New York, like it's very hard to be a guy and be the reacher. Like the girl has to pretty much be the reacher at that point for a couple in the New York, New Jersey area.
Living in Jersey and being an hour away from New York, how many a-holes do you deal with on a daily basis?
I pretty much I deal with a lot. Well, not too many like in person. At my job a lot, like that but I do like tech support as my day job. But like, as far as dealing with that, like, I do run into some once every while because there's always at least that one person who will, especially driving. Driving in my area is the worst. Like,
oh yeah,
aggressive drivers. And the thing is, though, when it comes to driving, people in Jersey think they're in New York. Like they want to be New Yorkers so bad. Like, so they have the difference is New York. They kind of have reason to have that kind of air of arrogance. Whereas in Jersey, Jersey, like, bro, 1/3 of your state is smokestacks. Relax.
Yeah, get over yourself at this point.
And I'm lifelong Jersey, so
how many? Well, so do a majority of people who live in Jersey just hate themselves for the fact that they're not in New York?
I mean, I can't answer for everybody else in the state, but I'm guessing so based on how they act. Like, I'm making that assumption. Like, I'm very much generalizing my own fellow statesmen and women.
As far as, I've had a job that, I quit after like probably 2 months where I was taking phone calls as far as, for a prescription pharmaceutical company. I had to deal with doctors and nurses from like Jersey and New York, and the most impatient people in the world. How impatient are you? Like, it'll be like, some Indian doctor from New York, and he spells his name and I still can't understand what he's saying, and he just gets frustrated and hangs up. How impatient are these people on a daily basis?
Pretty impatient. And it's like, yes, Mr. Renish, multiple vowels thrown around. You're because I do tech support for water heaters as my day job, which is the worst. It really, like, the office is great, like the people are, but the calls, like, I thought Jersey people were impatient. People from California, like, I've kind of written off ever moving there to California. because of the people I have to deal with call wise from that state.
Yeah, it's interesting the different parts of the country you go to or you talk to. Yeah, people from the coasts are very impatient, and then it's like you go south to like Miami or Florida, and it's nobody gives a crap, and you can tell just by the way the people dress or the way people look at nude beaches.
Yeah, no, in Florida they're pretty much all like close to death anyway, so they're just like whatever. I don't have. It's hot here anyway. Why do I need hot water? Like, let me cool down.
Well, how much would it bother you? You know, you see these stories on the news from time to time, like out of Florida. It'll be like somebody will be like, "Hey, sex rates are up in Florida among the senior citizen community." It's like, oh my God, my grandparents don't live down there, and I don't even want to know that. And then you see like somebody's grandma on there. It's like, what the hell? Who would want to exploit a grandma like that?
I feel like the visualization of those sets of privates like touching each other at this point, it's like throwing raisins onto a prune at that point. Like, why even do it? Why?
Yeah. From an early age, I was like, I'm probably going to check out around my 55th birthday, around Smash and stuff.
Well, I feel like if I go around that time, I'll be that guy who goes around in the 50s if I get famous at any of the stuff that I'm in. But if I fail at everything that I do, I'll be just that bitter 80-year-old man. Like, those are my two scenarios, best and worst case scenario.
As far as the life of being a comedian, what's the worst part of being a comedian?
Well, bombing is pretty bad. I mean, I'm newer at comedy, so that's when the bombings are more frequent than the crushings, as they call it. But then when we here's the thing though, like we're all just such horrible human beings emotionally that we can't even sit and enjoy having good sets. Like we've got to be like, I mean, I guess I did okay. I forgot a line, Someone could get like a standing ovation. You're like, I mean, it's not my best set. There's like a comic never has his best set in his own mind, his or her own mind, I should say. Like it never happens in their mind. Like someone like a Bill Burr you can make a special like Bill Burr's newer special, the I'm Sorry You Feel That Way special that's on Netflix. Like you could be like that, have a set that good, and then get off and be like, oh man, I wasn't good tonight. I just didn't feel it. I felt clunky.
Who do you think right now is, doesn't get the credit they deserve as a comedian?
Doesn't get the credit they deserve. There's one because some of the ones that I would have said a couple years ago are starting to get the credit they deserve, like the Louis C.K.'s and the Bill Burrs, and the Mark Marons. Like they've got TV shows now. They're like on top of the world pretty much for different reasons. I'll give three names. One is alive still. The other two are dead. Well, four.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah, not a good sign. Well, I'll do four. I'll do a fourth one who's also dead, but like didn't get the recognition he deserved until after he died. The living one, Doug Stanhope, probably one of the best out there. But most people would know him as either being on those Girls Gone Wild commercials back in the early 2000s, or being on the failed half of the Man Show when Kimmel and Carolla left. But he's one of the best comics out there, one of the best stand-up comedians out there, and in some ways terribly underrated. The ones who aren't alive, Bill Hicks when he was alive, definitely didn't get the recognition he deserved. Like Dennis Leary stole his material, and then shortly after Bill Hicks died, it took years for Bill Hicks to kind of finally be well praised in his own home country, the U.S. As far as other more recent examples who aren't with us anymore, Greg Giraldo,
Yes.
I don't know if you ever saw a lot of the